Hi friends, Pastor Terry here. We are Okotoks Alliance Church, and these are Thursday Thoughts. I hope you're weathering the weather all right. I've got friends in Ontario. It sounds like that is doing okay there. I think 15 degrees or something like that. Here in Alberta, not so much. And a friend drove down from up near Edmonton someplace, and kind of got north of Calgary, and it was almost whiteout conditions. And yeah, it's cold here today too. Furnace is down in the office, so I'm feeling the cold that much more. It's going to get repaired any minute now. I think the repairman has come and gone, got the part, coming back soon. So, wintertime in Canada. Hope you're doing all right. We're only, sorry, I'm moving too quickly here, I'm gonna make you dizzy. We're only, a little more than a week out from Christmas. A week tomorrow is Christmas Eve. So the time flies when you're having fun, right? And I hope you're having fun, but I realize these are really difficult days for all of us. And we're moving toward the season of celebration of Christmas. So we've been in this series, and I try to use Thursday Thoughts just to give you a little bit of a heads up for this coming Sunday, hoping that maybe I can whet your appetite, that maybe you'd read a little bit of Scripture. Maybe it would be helpful and inspiring to you to prepare, and then join us in worship. Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. live stream right here on Facebook or on YouTube or on our website or in person, and we're welcoming people in person. And it's been a wonderful experience to be together in worship. We remain masked, we're distancing between cohorts, and we are singing and participating in worship. We've been in this series that we've been doing that I've been calling Christmas Is, and looking at these truisms that in many respects, I think for many people, they are Christmas. Like, it's the sum total of what they expect from Christmas. Christmas is love, as long as there's some kind of loving experience, some kind of touchy-feely thing in there, then they've experienced Christmas. Christmas is family. As long as I can get together with family, boy, is that one being tested. Last year with COVID restrictions, this year it sounds like here in Alberta, at least, it might not be quite as restricted as last year, but there are still grave concerns going on in our society. Christmas is giving. We talked about the gifts that we give to one another this past Sunday, and this week we kind of springboard from that into generosity. It's amazing the generosity that comes forward at Christmas. Many charities in our society, in Canada in particular, they count on people's additional generosity at Christmas in order for them to make their budgets work. The church is not that dissimilar. We do experience, a surge in giving toward the end of the year, and we're super grateful for that, and we end up anticipating that in order to try to help, make ends meet. What's behind generosity at Christmas in particular? I mean, sure, year end is coming, and so for those of us in Canada, giving benevolently will assist you in reducing your tax burden. Thankfully, mercifully, our governments see the benefit in charitable organizations and the work that we do, and this is an incentive to help people come to the place of giving. But if that didn't exist, would Christmas still have that same draw to generosity? And my answer is I hope so. I hope so, because the generosity that we're talking about is far more than just giving because it benefits your tax return. There's a generosity that is at the very heart of who God is and how He works with us. We've been going back time and again to John 3:16. For God so loved the world that He gave His one and only Son, that whoever believes in Him would not perish but have everlasting life. The motivation behind Jesus coming at Christmas is the love that God has for us in giving us what we most need. And it came at enormous cost. Jesus gave everything, His entire life. He laid His life down as a sacrifice in order that the debt of your and my sin could be repaid, in order that we wouldn't have to pay it ourselves. It's a bit of a complex thought. I'd be glad to unpack it with you if you were interested in digging a little bit further into that. But this week we're coming to this subject of generosity. And I'll invite you to read the first 15 verses of the Gospel of John, chapter 5. And we've been tracking our way through the Gospel of John from John 1 and the creation account that John has. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, the Word was God. The Word became flesh. There's John's version of the Christmas story, and dwelt among us. John chapter 2 and the first miracle that Jesus did in the turning of water into wine. John describes it as the first miracle in Galilee. Went on through several events down in Jerusalem and meeting a guy named Nicodemus, who is a leader that came asking questions, how Jesus met him. There's family language in all of this. Went on into there's kind of a conversation that takes place between Jesus' disciples and John the Baptist's disciples in the wilderness, and John's confession of who Jesus is. And then they went up to Samaria, to Cana in Galilee, where he turned water into wine. And it is there that he encounters on the way he encounters the Samaritan woman at the well, and the entire village is saved. These people who aren't supposed to be part of the Messianic story at all, they're not part of Israel, not formally at least, and yet Jesus is meeting these people with love and compassion and care, inviting them into the family. There's a woman who's had an extraordinarily painful family experience, family existence, marital strife, 5 husbands, living with a guy that's not her husband now. And then on up into Cana again, where he turned water into wine, and that time then he was healing a leader's son. Just he spoke the word, and it was done. And we see these examples of generosity, in that case, the gift of healing, the gift of compassion and care for the Father. And then we go on into John chapter 5, and there's another healing account, and Jesus is back in Jerusalem, and it's the healing of a man who was born lame, or a man who's been lame for 38 years. And it's an extraordinary account. We'll unpack it briefly together, and the picture of generosity that is there in how Christ approaches this man, and how we can anticipate him approaching us, but more to the point, how he wants to approach others through us, as we would live the way Jesus calls us to live, generous lives, others-focused lives. It's tough. You'll hear a couple of my embarrassing stories in the middle of all of that. I have nothing like a perfect record on this one, but maybe we can help one another along and encourage one another to be Jesus kind of believers, generous followers of Jesus this Christmas. I hope you can be with us this coming Sunday. We'll go live at 9:50 a.m. Mountain Time, and then our service is at 10 a.m. You're welcome to join us in person. If our Kids Zone is open, we would love to have your children with us. We ask that you would pre-register the kids. It just helps our family ministries team, our children's department in particular, to prepare. And then Christmas Eve, this weekend, the Christmas Path, Saturday afternoon and early evening, and then Sunday early evening, an outdoor journey back through the 6 acres of our building, kind of the beginnings of a park-like sort of setting that we're trying to create, where you can experience the Christmas story in 3D. Actors, I think we might even have some goats back there with the shepherds, walk the journey, hear the story, and interact with the Christmas narrative. Bring your family, bring your friends. Everyone's invited. There's no charge. We just hope it's a unique and helpful way to retell the Christmas story. And then come back, bring your friends back to Christmas Eve. We are pre-registering for Christmas Eve services, 5 p.m. So Friday, December 24th, 5 p.m. and then 7 p.m. By pre-registering, especially groups, we think we can just accommodate the crowd more helpfully. We'll have some assigned seating for you and your friends or family members as you sit together as a cohort, and it's going to be a great service. I'm really excited about the way the parts and pieces are coming together. Christmas is be the final message in that Advent series. Christmas is Jesus, and it was a simple retelling of the gospel, the hope that we have in Jesus at Christmas time. with carols, with some fun. I hope that you can be with us any and all of these opportunities. We will be open, of course, Sunday, December 26th, 10 a.m., and again, Sunday, January 2nd at 10 a.m. And we'd love to have you with us for any or all of that. So I'm Pastor Terry Lee. We are Okotoks Alliance Church. These have been Thursday Thoughts, and I'm really grateful that you would join me for this. Bless you, and